Happy Wednesday! We're here, and you can see behind me we got a guest. Say hello, guest Tom.
Hello.
We've got a Rhydian hiding here somewhere as well. Rhydian,
Yeah.
pipe up.
I'm still here.
Right, we're hoping to have Liam on as well. He's got some technical issues, which is a bit of a recurring theme at the minute. All fun, innit? It was all fun. But we might have to wing it a little bit. If we can't get Liam in, we might have to make something up on the fly. So, okay, let's get the titles out of the way. And hopefully in the 1 minute and 10 seconds, he can come back on. See you in a moment.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of VapeTrails.tv.
And we're back. We still don't have a Liam. Oh, he's attempting to join, but he's got no audio. Oh, good God! Help! Okay, right. Let's reverse things around. We were going to talk about VIP first at Vape Fest, but we can't do that without Liam here, really.
Am I not audible?
Oh, you are!
Hooray!
In a nick of time. Right, we've got Liam audio only.
I do apologise to everyone. I have been having such issues with my computers today, and I foolishly attempted to try Google Hangouts on a Pentium PC.
Oh!
The only one. It was the only one I could get the webcam to work with. So, oh well, we're back to a slightly more modern version, but no pictures, I'm afraid.
Well, we'll do what we can. Right, so to start proceedings off then, we've got a little bit of time-lapse footage, which is kindly done by Rhydian at Vape Fest, of the VIP tent. So, what's that, a couple of minutes or so? So we're going to play that in, just to set the scene a little bit, and then we'll come back. Okay, right. Before we crack on with this, we are going to be talking about the news today, but not quite yet, okay? We'll talk about that a bit later. We'll save that for later. We've got those cookies for later. Only Dave Kay's going to actually know that reference. Right, okay. So, Liam, VIP at Vape Fest.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. We had a good time. What we did, we went with the intention to start a membership scheme.
Uh-huh.
And I think we got 40-something members on the day, and we've had about another 20-something members since. At this point, I suppose I should apologise to anyone who's eagerly awaiting their badges. I will get those sent out as soon as possible. So memberships was one thing, and we were also selling T-shirts. We'd ordered about 25, and we sold pretty much all of them. Nice one, Rhydian. Yeah. And the other thing we were doing was we had some advocacy packs, which are just piles of, I don't know, maybe 50 posters that we were asking people to take to their local B&Ms, and they were really popular. We weren't asking for money for those, like, you know, some of the membership fees covered the price of printing that. And we must have got through, we ordered 5,000, and we ended up with about 1,000, maybe 1,500 left. So we got through a load of those posters. So yeah, those were the three things we were pushing. And of course, we also had speakers, of which Rhydian was one.
Yes, and I believe Dave Kidson was another one. Simon Thurlow. Yes.
Ian Green of Viri was there.
And our big draw, I think, for most people was the Dick Puddlecoat and Simon Clark from Forest. That was really, really interesting what they had to say.
I would have liked to have been around for it, but unfortunately I was only there for a few hours on the Saturday, so I didn't really get the chance to sort of see much of it, which is a shame.
Oh, their focus was very much on, you know, you might be vapors now and you might think you're safe, but spare a thought for the smokers, because
of
if
which
you don't
we all
stand
once,
up, you know, like for the illiberal things they do to smokers, then it will happen to vaping next.
Oh yeah. We were all smokers. Well, we still are smokers as far as I'm concerned. We just happen to not burn tobacco. But there we go. So the very fact that VIP were at Vape Fest is quite groundbreaking in its way, I feel. You got any thoughts on that?
Well, I think so. I mean, let's remember that last year they did, in the end, allow EFBI there, even if they didn't position them really well. So the fact we were there and there was never any suggestion from them that we couldn't be there. They welcomed us with open arms. They did various things, like on the Sunday, they turned the music down while Sarah Jakes was talking. They couldn't do that on the Saturday because it was a DJ and they didn't know, and it was all a bit last minute. But they were very helpful to us and very open to the idea of us coming from the instant that we asked them.
That's very good. You know, I mean, previous years has been we don't want any of the politics there, and I can understand where they're coming from on that front. It's supposed to be a day of fun for vaping, but we can't really forget that we need the vaping to continue.
Well, and as it gets closer and closer to next May, it bites more and more people realise, really.
That kind of bemuses me, though. The fact is that they don't do it full force and allow you to be on the main stage and to speak, because as you guys didn't have the biggest of tents or didn't have the massive of areas to do it, it wasn't really, because I didn't hear about it until afterwards. So it could have been, I think it should have been the main focus, if I'm quite honest.
Yeah, I mean, when we went to Vape Jam, they put a little leaflet in their poster and got someone announcing on the DJ stage when we were talking and things like that. But you know, that's the way they want to run it. It is their event, and it is a brilliant opportunity for advocacy. And you know, if there is another one next year, I'm sure we will be able to do it a bit better and publicise it a bit more.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Rhydian, have you got any thoughts on that, sir?
I completely agree with Tom with it, that any events that happen before May have to be advocacy driven, but I am very biased towards that for many a different reason. not because I'm a member of Vapors in Power now and associate of NNA and EFEI in the past. It's advocacy's in my blood now. But there is a little question I'd like to ask about the advocacy packs. How would people in chat get a hold of them if they want to help out?
Oh, pardon me. Sorry, I just got a. So since I've dropped to 6 milligrams for the direct lung ones, whenever I go back to ones that don't direct lung and they're still on 18, it always catches me a bit. Never mind. Anyway, they can get an advocacy pack by getting in touch with Vapors in Power. You can do that via the website, vaporsinpower.co.uk. I'm sure most of the people in chat are friends on Facebook or follow on Twitter one or other of us, and vice versa. So it's just a question of asking, really. As I say, we still do have 1,000 or so leaflets. We know we've got a limited budget, but we can post some out, definitely. And also the PDFs are available on the Vapors in Power think tank, which is on Facebook. Yeah, so you can just get the data and print it off yourself as well.
And email them to your B&Ms like mad.
Mm-hmm. Or just give them to Rhydian, because he's very good at distributing stuff.
What? Emailing B&Ms? yeah, I'm good at sending them out, but getting replies is a different matter.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm good at going out and talking to them.
And for people that obviously I haven't got video, so I can't show you, but on the front of it, it says what's going to be banned. It's very like the Totally Wicked poster, a few pictures of what's going to be banned. But on the back of it are QI codes and email information for us, for NNA, for Move, and for the Totally Wicked petition. So it's quite good to give to B&Ms because it tells people what they can do as well as what the problems are.
How have the B&Ms come across to you regarding obviously emailing them or speaking to them personally? How have you seen that the B&Ms have come across?
I've only gone to the 4 in my area, and they've all got fully on board with it. And I bet Rhydian can answer that question even more fully.
Yeah, it's like I did a random tweet tagging all the B&Ms that I know that are on Twitter in the South Wales area, and they've either favorited or retweeted. So I would like to take that as full support, because I've done the semi-blackmail idea of making them do it in public on Twitter, for example. But I've sent all the stuff out to 2 of the main chains, and they say, yeah, we'll do our best, which is all what we can ask for. And then it's just the individuals. Most of them I would probably go see on foot, or bus, or train, or fly. Use superpowers. But yeah, it's going to be full steam ahead for me.
Sounds interesting.
But the thing is, we've got to rely on the people in chat to help out. It's going to be reiterating exactly what happened with the FEI. It's like people like me can't do it on our own. For example, we've got Rob Tavy in chat. He helped me with West Wales. Bernice helped me with the company that she's involved with. She's been very supportive. And a couple of others that I may not recognise the name of. And then, of course, we have Simon, who does a lot of advocacy work with the NNA as well. So we're coming on all fronts. Coming together on all fronts.
It does sound like a lot of people do need to get involved, and the people in chat and everybody in the community needs to kind of grab this metaphorically by the balls and just do as much as we can as a community.
Indeed, and on that note, today's news is fantastic, and I'm glad you're going to be talking about it later. Mm-hmm. But it provides some ammunition for what we're going to be doing at the beginning of September. Because as you know, the MPs are all on holiday at the moment. But when they come back in September 7th, I think, our intention is to have a letter writing campaign to MPs, and I'd like chat suggestions on this really, because I've been thinking we've heard time and again how important it is and how powerful and emotional it is when vapers tell their stories to people, and we've been told that's what changed the MEPs' minds. So I think a letter should definitely include like your vaping story, and I think the letter should focus on the MHRA being in charge of e-cigs, which I think is an absolute shocker, and it's a massive conflict of interests.
Yes.
And I think we should try and get a question raised in the House of Parliament about that. And that is how I'd focus a letter. And I'd be very interested to see if chat have any different or better ideas about that.
Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take the break a little bit early because I don't want to go too much into this route until after the break, because otherwise we're going to get in a conversation, we're going to miss the break. So let's have a couple of minutes and a break, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss further.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Award-winning service and products from cloud9vaping.co.uk.
Dripper selection boxes now come in 0 and 3mg strengths. So tell Dripper the kind of flavours you like and we'll send you 70ml of some of the world's most exciting flavours every month. With free delivery anywhere in Europe, treat yourself to a Dripper box today.
Dripper.co.uk.
And we're back in the room. So, this is the main reason that Big Tom from YouTube, even there, you probably have seen the rather charming video he put out the other day, and last night's show he did as well. But so it brings up an interesting topic on disparity in the community and these petitions that are suddenly popping up as opposed to everyone focusing on the same thing. That can't be a good thing, surely. Tom, I'm sure you've got some thoughts on this.
I've got some very big thoughts on this. Just want to say a big hello to the guys at Vape.uk for last night's show. People probably have seen me rant and rave about this new petition from a company called Get Vape. I will mention the name of the company because we did have a discussion with the owner last night. My whole thing about it is that basically these companies are trying to look like they are doing something to help the TPD, but basically what they are doing is using it as a marketing ploy and using incentives to gain so-called signatures, because we all know you actually need a postcode, a name and an email address rather than just an email address. And basically they're just coming across and basically using it as an incentive to get their businesses up and running and getting emails, and it's out of order, 100% out of order. And guys, I'm not swearing because I'm trying to be polite.
I'm just going to chime in there now and state, in the interest of editorial balance, I cannot say yes or no that companies are doing this in order to get people on the mailing list or whatever. There are certain views that people are doing that, just jumping on the bandwagon just to try and get people signed up for mailing lists. On the other hand, they could be doing it out of the goodness of their own hearts. So in the interest of balance, we have to say that.
I don't need to be balanced because when you click that privacy button,
Yes.
he said he'd rewritten it. So I had a look at it again and saw the second thing he had written, and it says your email gets added to the mailing list.
Correct. Yeah. The privacy setting on that whole situation, which we did mention last night, was basically because I knew straight away, and I've signed every petition I can and speak about advocacy every day. And the fact is, when I went to see it and I saw the incentive, and I knew straight away to actually give something. It's basically buying signatures. You can't use something like that. You've bought a signature. That's why TW hasn't gone out and said, we'll give everybody a free mod when you sign this petition, because you're using an incentive to get people to sign it. It needs to be from the goodness of the heart and also a part of what they want to do it.
Surely the only incentive you require to sign a petition is the fact that you can get to carry on vaping. You don't need a damn t-shirt to do that now, do you?
No, you don't.
Can I jump in there, Matt?
You can, Sav.
The other thing that has to be taken into account with that is a petition that has been incentives being used will not be valid. You can't put that in, so it's completely pointless.
It'll just get laughed. It'll just get laughed at, and the fact is that when, as Liam's saying in the private policy, it does state that you basically get an email saying you've confirmed your email address, and then you need to literally sign out of the privacy settings to stop it going to the mailing list. So it was basically like, we give the people from Get Vape their own opportunity to give us their point of view and what they feel to do. And it was literally like a little boy who found out that they've done something wrong and trying every way to get out of what they've actually done.
Okay. So this now brings another point. I mean, surely all the vendors now should see and recognise that the TW campaign is our best bet at this moment in time. So, there are some people out there who are saying, well, TW are only doing it at their own interests. Well, they're a business. They want to continue trading. Mm-hmm. Of course they do. Yeah. But then there's also the fact that they've been around for a very long time, and I know a lot of people have got views about TW. I'm neither one way or the other. I mean, I wasn't around when a lot of the stuff happened. Mm-hmm. And some people still refer to that. But, as far as I'm concerned, they're doing something good for the entire community. Yes, they have got a vested interest in it because they want to continue trading. Of course they do. But why don't every other vendor sort of say, okay, send us some sign-up forms, we'll get some signatures. Or put a link on their websites, just to get SIGs.
And some are, but it must be a really, really small fraction.
Yes, I would say so.
Yeah, but it's like hating to go back on what we've just said. It's like when I was in EFEI, there was a similar vendor that did a very similar way. It's like they filled out the EFEI forms, and there was an addition of email at the bottom. When I saw that, I immediately contacted the address that it came from, and I went, what on earth you were doing? And they turned out to be telling porkies. So yeah, that was in the past. I wouldn't want to see that thing again unless it's done with thank you for signing, here's the actual petition.
Yeah, that's like what we discussed last night. Like, we basically said, well, why didn't you link it to the TW petition? And I will say, last night we did raise £150 to the NNA, which has been donated for a I Say Vape.UK t-shirt last night that we did put. If you guys saw it last night, we did raise £150.
Round of applause there, everyone.
So, as a baby of Vape.UK, hello James, hello Rick. As a baby of the show, we did try, just in a funny way, just to try raise awareness and just try to make a little money towards things. And it doesn't take much to do that. The community is willing. It's just how willing the community and the vendors together are going to work.
Now, go on, Rick.
Sorry, Liam.
Oh, Liam. Sorry.
Oh, well, as you were saying, sorry, Liam, I did have something to add to what Tom was saying as well. It's also, I mean, not everyone is going to get involved with advocacy. Not everyone is going to, sort of stand up and be candid in that way, because that just doesn't suit everyone. So it's up to the people who are willing to be involved in advocacy and stand up in that way to sort of almost give a really clear suggestion and a really straightforward, sensible thing that other people can do. Because people want to do things and they don't know what they should do.
Yeah.
And we should be really deeply and cleverly thinking about what we are offering for people to do.
Right, I suppose that links into a concern that Bernice put in. It's like the TW. I'd like to presume she's talking about the TW sign-up sheets. They're in all of the 10 shops, and still customers don't want to sign. And but it's one of those things that you can't control. You can't control people's choice.
No.
Which
it's knowledge as well, though. It's literally us guys are sitting here and we're going to an audience that's probably like not even 1% of the market, and it's the fact of people hear what we're saying in vape shops and what we're saying on here and are thinking, oh yes, because we are that kind of market, but the majority of vapors have no idea what's going on, and they're like, we're just going to be signing a piece of paper, we're thinking you're going to send us messages, we think we're going to get spam mail and stuff like that. It's the knowledge of the community. There's not much of it out there, not just because we are doing as much as we can, but the rest of the community, not necessarily the community, but once again, it's down to the industry itself. The vendors are not giving that information out freely.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, I would suspect that the vast majority of vapors in this country, and possibly many others, they will pick up their Ego e-cigs and the C4 clearomisers from the garage or the corner shop. Now, the garage or the corner shop have got no interest whatsoever. They don't care if vaping is going to continue or not. It's just another revenue stream. They'll fall back to something else. So the vast majority of vapors aren't going to be aware of it, and they're never going to be made aware of it. So the ones that are aware of it have to just work a bit harder.
Yeah.
Or clever.
Yeah, there's a couple. Sorry, I'm jumping in again. There's a couple of comments from chat, and Sam and Rose brought up one about getting vendors involved, and he said that some vendors feel that they're advertising for somebody else, and that's enough to put them off getting involved.
I can see that.
No, but that's selfish. Let's be honest. A real vendor who wants their business to go further in the future and carry on actually making a living from something they love and enjoy, then they should be supporting it regardless of if you're promoting somebody else or not. You're trying to save your business, and if you are really in depth with the industry and want the industry to stay, then you need to get your finger out your backside and get on with it. That's how I feel. I feel they're just being selfish.
Kelly James raises a point. There's a lot of vapors out there who've got a load of kit, a load of liquid, and this point's been made many times before and it's going to be made again, that are the I'm all right Jack crowd and don't care. But it's not about them. It's not about us here in chat. It's not about us here you're watching. It's about the people that come after us. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Now, I would hate for someone not to go through the same journey that I went through. And it was quite a journey. And in all honesty, I never wanted to get involved in the politics. Never did. But unfortunately, I'm in a position where it's silly of me not to do it. I would be happier sitting here just saying, oh yeah, look at this new mod, it's great. But what's the point in doing that when I can say, or, you know, say, look at this new mod, it's great, but you can't buy it to May next year. What's the point?
Exactly. There's the points to it all, and it's the fact of that it's the community that needs to just carry on beating at it to basically say we need to, you know, keep vaping around. I don't want to go back to smoking. I really don't want to go back to smoking. I enjoy vaping. I enjoy the community it brings. I enjoy the friends and people I've met in vaping. It's a lifestyle for the majority of us, and we need to make that clear to people that this is a lifestyle to us. This is going to affect people's jobs. You know, there's going to be people queuing outside the Job Centre Plus when the industry goes under. It's going to lose a lot of people's livelihoods, and people need to focus on not just themselves, but the whole vaping industry itself. It's not just about you as a vapor. It's about everybody else and who wants to become a vapor. You know, a lot of people still don't know about vaping and e-cigarettes, and even though it's how big it is at the moment, a lot of people will not transition because of the stuff that's going on inside the industry.
And I am willing to bet that thanks to today's news, it's going to get a little bit bigger. I'm sure there will be a spike in new vapors.
Okay, let's dive into that, since that's a good segue.
Perfect.
My pleasure.
Nicely done, sir. Nicely done. And I completely ruined the seamlessness of it all by pointing out that it was seamless.
See, now that's professionalism, Tom.
That is.
It is. You can't top that.
To a new topic. Right.
Do you want me to summarise the news then, Matt?
Go on then.
Well, basically today, Public Health England, I have to stress the England because I'm Welsh, released their report on e-cigs using updated evidence, and it concluded that vaping is at least, I use the word at least, term at least, 95% safer, and then the mainstream media seem to cotton on to the possibility of e-cigs being available on NHS prescriptions. So the first part is really, really positive. And then the second part's up for debate, isn't it?
Just a bit.
Is it just?
Right, I can summarise the debate in quite quickly. Driving into work this morning, I dropped the missus off a mile down the road at the train station and I continue on. Now, I had already read about the news this morning. Caroline had not heard a thing about it. I put the radio on in the car and the news bulletin comes on. It's 7 o'clock on the nose and says doctors have been advised to hand out e-cigs on prescription. And Caroline goes, "Ooh, that's good." And I said, "Wait for it." And then there was the sentence of pending regulatory approval.
Yeah. Right, can I put a little bit of a Welsh spin on it?
Go on.
Right. Currently, prescriptions are free in Wales. So, if we go to our GPs and go in, "I want to quit smoking," they either give us a prescription for an e-cig or send us to a stop smoking support service. But then in Wales, if the Welsh Government get their way, those who have been prescribed e-cigs to help their quit attempts will still have to go outside with the smokers. Woohoo! For a double whammy of idiocy.
Very true.
And that letter, the photo of the letter you got sent, Ryd, is appalling. I don't know if you're going to share that with chat. I'm sure maybe most of the chat have seen it. It was from Public Health Wales, wasn't it? And you'd politely ask them, given this announcement, do you share it? And they said, "Oh yes, we're all in favour of it. That's why we're supporting the Welsh Government's plan to ban vaping in enclosed public spaces."
Yeah, that was pretty much it. It was like, yeah, we accept the information. We're doing our bit to aid tobacco harm reduction by supporting the Welsh Government's position.
Mm.
Yeah, thank you, Julie Bishop.
Mm.
So-called doctor. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. But you know, you can definitely tell I'm just either really confused and frustrated about it, or I just don't get what they're saying.
I don't think they know what they're saying, to be quite honest.
Yeah, so that's the Welsh spin about it. I'm sure there's different spins on it from England with you, Liam and Tom.
Well, I mean, reading the report, I read it. It's 111 pages. There's a sort of 6-page summary, which is like nice and quick to read, and I reckon I read about 50 pages of the 111 before I got a bit bored of it. But the actual report is phenomenal. It is amazing, and you'd expect that. It's written by Peter Hayek and Anne McNeil, is it?
Yeah, that's it.
And that, so the report itself is really, really ace and says some really interesting things and hints that the TPD isn't par for the course, is a dog's dinner, as Clive would say. And that, to actually get little suggestions arguing against the TPD in a document from Public Health England is phenomenal. And obviously the media spin on it is another thing. And the idea that a one-size-fits-all medicalised e-cig will actually be as effective as the things we use is ludicrous, laughable, and nonsense.
Yeah.
Unless that one size fits all is a DNA 200 with a sub tank on it. No.
You're just showing off now.
No, well, that's the one size fits all for me.
I think it's 100% negative. Not the report itself, but the news reports is 100% negative. It might cause a big spike in sales in independents at the minute, but the way it's phrased, that it may be, I'm not going to the doctor to ask for 100ml bottle of custard. You must be joking.
One thing I would say against that, Tom, is that it got on the front pages of 4 papers today that e-cigs are 95% safer than smoking.
That's the positive.
That is a massive positive. That really is.
That's a positive, but the whole prescription thing to me is ludicrous. It's ridiculous. It's the way I see it is the fact if they're saying, okay, then what we'll do is we'll make a prescription so you can go get electronic cigarettes, but what we'll do is Big Pharma will then take control of it, and all you independents can go get jogging and lose all your stuff. So you're going to basically lose your livelihood anyway, because the big pharmaceutical industry is then going to take over the e-cigarette industry.
Absolutely.
That ties into
But that was the media spin. That wasn't what the report said at all.
Yeah.
That ties into some really interesting comments that we've got coming in from chat. Kelly James has said, I actually dislike the news today, and the reason is that it's a way to open the door to the MHRA and vaping being a medical device, opening the door to Big Pharma and Big Tobacco to make a killing on prescriptions, as they're the only companies that will be able to afford the testing required. Spiritus Vape added, a lot of people do view e-cigs as another form of NRT and a way for them to give up smoking and nothing more. For them, there is absolutely a place in the market for a medicinal e-cig. And a couple of really interesting comments from Ryan Taylor, who said, the amazing thing about the report is that it does say several times that there are different brackets of vapers and all should be considered. And he also said, instead of looking to put people out of business, our government should be making the UK a centre for vaping. We have great manufacturers and designers in this country, and we should be promoting the UK as the new home of vaping.
Mm-hmm. Nicely said.
Definitely wouldn't be Wales. But that's by the by.
That last comment you read out, that's phenomenal, isn't it? In a way, the UK is becoming a beacon. I mean, pre-TPD, but a beacon for vaping. And we've actually had a quasi-government body. They're like an executive agency sponsored by the Department of Health, so they're like one step away from government. We've actually had one come out and say e-cigs are 95% safer than cigarettes, and no other quasi-government body around the world has done that, as far as I know.
The interesting thing, actually, saying about this whole a centre for vaping, this sort of thing, or a pinnacle or mecca, or whatever you want to call it, it's quite interesting if you consider the fact that the two real hot areas for legislation and things, being the UK, being one of them, Wales, everything included, is the UK. And then you've got California as well. Now, you've got a lot of big juice manufacturers in California, a lot of big mod manufacturers in there. Now, when you think in world terms of big vaping, should we call it that, high-profile vaping, you think of the UK and you think of California.
Yeah.
And we led the TPD, and California, we all know who that has.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, don't swear, Liam. Don't. No. It's that's a very very interesting thought. But then some of us also think of the flip side as well. It's certain areas that are doing all the regulations and stuff, and then it's the stuff countries that do completely the wrong thing. Australia, Spain, Australia, Italy, Sweden, because we're fighting the battle. We're fighting the battles. The Californians and Sparta are fighting the battles across America, but it's the places like Australia that recently have had their NNA.au set up, which is always a good plus. But then they still got a really bad environment for vaping and vapors in general. So if we think it's bad here, that there's worse places.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
100%.
Granted, I was thinking more in terms, not necessarily on the battles we're facing, but in terms of products, in terms of liquids, that sort of thing.
Oh, current availability.
Not availability, but the innovation. Yeah. Now, I might be sounding a bit biased because I'm in the UK, but from my point of view, it just seems like it's the UK and California and a few other places in the States, but mainly California, really are pushing out the new bits. And you've got the Philippines as well, pushing out all their sub-ohm mods and crazy drippers, things like that. And of course, China making all their bits and bobs. But it just seems to me the real hotbeds are these two places.
Yeah, the innovation. Well, look at the F1. Look at all the mechanics and everybody, the engineers in F1 is all English because we are the best at it, and we need to carry on pushing it forward. Because we are the best engineers in the world. We come with the best ideas. Then let's make sure we keep with that ideas, and that's what we're going to lose.
Yeah. So it's not only jobs are at stake here. It's potentially creative minds as well.
Well, I mean, if you look at any high street, what are the only shops that have opened on it in the last couple of years?
Charity shops, phone shops.
Yeah, we're always hearing about the demise of it.
Yeah.
Well, just where I am, estate agents, vape shop, estate agent, pub. The last one's the sole thumb.
Is that what the pub's called?
No.
Well, that's what the high street looks like, and you forgot the 3 or 4 charity shops. But what are the new shops in that range? It's just vape shops.
Yes.
The estate agents were there before. It's a thriving, growing industry, and I think I remember rightly. I saw this from a CETA that there's 40,000 people directly employed by the e-cig industry in the UK at the moment.
That's not a small number.
It's not.
No. Guys, I think we better take a break. Otherwise, we're not going to get one in. So we'll be back in 1 minute and 16 seconds.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of vapetrails.tv.
LP Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and e-liquids. Proud sponsors of vaping entertainment on Vapor Trails TV.
We're back in the room. So, gentlemen, any further thoughts?
I would just like to say that I think today, with the announcement, and despite what Tom has to say, with all the press as well, it's been one of the best days for vaping that I can remember for ages.
I concur.
It's certainly a mixed bag of news. I mean, you've got the report, which is great, and it's basically come out and said what we've known for a long time now. Mm-hmm. But then you've got the media spin on it, and you've got the potential of Big Pharma and so on and so forth doing their clandestine meetings and secret handshakes and hopping and sacrifices to get things where they want them to be. So there's that as well.
The headlines are, here today, gone tomorrow. It's that report that is going to get used in arguments in Australia. It's going to get used in arguments by vapers in other countries that are fighting against their own petty restrictions. That is the really good thing, and that is the thing that will continue, Whereas all the headlines that we disagree with, they'll be gone. They'll be gone next week. No one will remember.
Yeah, I think the strap line, obviously, of the 95% safe is probably going to be one of the most used strap lines for us vapors for a long time now, being in the media. It's the whole, there's positives within there's negatives within the positives, and it's kind of like how you foresee it as yourself. You know, like with myself, I see the big pharma thing being very negative, but then seeing 95% safer than cigarettes is a massive positive. And as you say, it's going to cause a massive influx in people getting into vaping, because the mainstream media, as we all know, like to say a few little lies every now and again, little white lies, and people, if tomorrow they'll come out and go, sorry guys, we made a mistake, it's 95% worse, people will then go to that. That strap line is going to be very, very good for us guys to say, well, if the media are saying 95%, you need to get onto it, because we know that people read papers and believe stuff that's in papers.
I'd just like to personally thank Liam there with crystal laser accuracy, cutting through all the hype, all the spin, everything else, and telling us exactly what's good about today. Nicely done.
Yeah. Mark Shaw pretty much summed it up. Best day ever, bigger than the TPD vote for me.
Yeah, that was the other good one, wasn't it? That is the previous highlight that I remember. That was a nice day too.
Let's hope we get a few more nice days.
I mean, we could have been e-cigs could have been on the front pages for so many reasons, but the reason we got on the front pages finally was for good reasons.
Yeah.
Even if it's funny.
Actually, if we cast our mind back to, I know 3 of us here were in Swansea not so long ago, weren't we?
Yes.
And Liam, I'm sure you recall those 2 reporters.
Oh.
That approached us. Now they were they specifically asked me, and I was having a chat with Jim at the time, as well. And they come up and go, anything newsy going on here? And he was trying to explain to them that we are protesting against banning of e-cigs, this sort of thing, and it's potentially the possibly the largest public health dividend in many, many years, and they just walked away from it.
And the person with the camera was a vapor.
Yes.
What got to me, and this is something Tom might want to chime in on. Didn't they ask a question on, is there anybody important here?
Yes.
Yes, they did.
Hello, this one.
Let's not forget the fact that Liam is actually a politician.
Here. Right, who's important here? Everybody that's not done.
Yeah. When they heard that there wasn't an AM turning up, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite shocking, really, isn't it? It really is.
It's the media at its best.
Yes.
And that was a cracking rendition of VG Autotune then, Tom.
Have you ever done the foggy voice, Tom?
The good old...
The
Barry White. I like to call it the Barry White.
Yes, the modulated voice when you've got a lung full of vapour.
Hello, sexy ladies.
Yeah, that works. Right. I'm going to bring it back to a little bit back to VIP for a bit. Because me being Welsh and stuff, and me being pretty much cornered by Abby and Liam in the VIP tent on the Saturday, do you have any plans for Wales next year, Liam?
Well, isn't there an election going on, Rhydian?
I believe there is. I don't know if I'll be involved in it, though.
Well, it might be a good idea to stand someone as an AM candidate.
Right, okay. Right, you've done it again. You've done it in public again, Liam.
You started it.
I know. But, yeah, so you're looking to put 1 or 2, or how many?
Abby reckons 3. I go, it's £500 each time. So the more the merrier, really. But let's say at least 1.
Okay. Right. So yeah, next year is going to be something to look forward to with VIP. everybody keep an eye on Vapors in Power on all the social media.
No, forget about keeping an eye on it for next year. Keep an eye on it for the end of August, start of September, when we're trying to get people to write to their MPs.
Or keep an eye on VIP from this end of the show onwards.
Yes.
Yeah, join up.
Yes.
We have memberships available. You get a badge.
There are 3 things you should be doing at this exact moment in time. Sorry, 4 things. 1, you should be keeping an eye on VIP. 2, you should be keeping an eye on the NNA. 3, you should be keeping an eye on promoting the TW Challenge. 4, you should be writing to your MPs. Yep.
Yeah, simple as that.
Yeah. And on the subject of writing to MPs, and I've said it before, I'm going to say it again, don't use a template letter. Write something personal. Even if it is, I started vaping, I believe it saved my life, I think it's great, blah, blah, blah. Write that down.
We will be producing a guide, a sort of set of paragraphs, basically, a writing frame, it's called in teaching, where you start off a sentence and the person finishes the sentence to change the standard letter. Because one thing about standard letters is undeniably true, is that more people will actually send them. So we want to try and get a personal individual letter made as easy to do as possible. So, you know, it's something we're going to be working on over the next couple of weeks, and something we'll be releasing after that.
There was a suggestion dropped in the chat earlier about the letters, and I think it was Ryan who said, can we not just collect everybody's vaping story and place it all in one document that can be sent? A large document of that size should give some clout. I'm not sure if he meant actual clout or...
Physical clout.
Yeah.
Well, look at it this way. Most local health boards do a collective reply. There was a collective standard letter from a Welsh vendor to the Welsh Government. That was ignored. But if it's a case of everyone sign up to VIP and then VIP send in their 2 pence, then there'll be clout.
I honestly think it's better to have individual constituents write to their individual MPs. I mean, my little dream of it is that maybe chat's got someone who knows about web email pages and web pages, because I don't. But my little dream of it is you have a map of Britain with like all the constituencies outlined, and then as people say, I've sent a letter to so-and-so MP, that little block, that constituency, gets coloured green or something, and slowly the whole country changes colour, so it's all green, meaning that at least one person has written to their MP in that constituency.
That's a really good idea. Anyone in chat as a web designer fancies tackling that, talk to Liam.
Liam at vaporsimpower.co.uk.
There we go.
Well, I'm going to say I am currently on Vapors in Power. I am currently putting in my PayPal details. I am signing up to Vapors in Power.
Excellent.
It's £5 to join, guys. It's a 10ml bottle of juice. Please go on to Vapors in Power and sign up. It's a £5 for an annual membership. Just go and sign it, for God's sake.
And then you'll get one of these eventually.
Yeah, that lasts longer than a bottle of juice.
It's a 10ml. It's a 10ml bottle of juice, guy, for an annual membership. Seriously, guys, if you are thinking of supporting, you really want to just show that you are supporting, go and sign it, because I'm doing it as we speak.
Excellent stuff.
Appreciate it.
I tell you what, Tom, I've not really spoken to you an awful lot this evening. As I said before the show, I think it's great because, I mean, I've known you I've known of you from your Safer Vapor days and what have you. And I find it very exciting that you're getting so involved in all this.
The thing is, for me, is being doing reviews for so long, it's realizing that something that I love may not be here in a couple of years' time. This isn't it's not a hobby for me. This is a lifestyle. I do this day in, day out. I live I eat, I sleep vaping, and I absolutely love it. I love the community it brings, the people I've met, and just the fact is I want it to be alive. And if it costs me a fiver to join in and basically use my mouth that I was given by God to speak about something I am very passionate about, why not do it? And just everybody out there, get off your backside, do something about it, and fight for something that you love, because we're all here for a reason. Whether you're watching back or you're watching live, guys, seriously, just go sign up to something, sign a petition, tell your next neighbor. That's it. You know, join everything. Just to, even if somebody doesn't smoke or somebody doesn't vape on your street, tell everybody how, if vaping does go away, how it's going to affect your life and your health, and just get the word out there. I do it because I love it, and you guys are also doing it because you love it. You're not doing it to gain financially. You're not doing it to gain a stardom. You're doing it because you want to keep something that you're passionate about. I want to sit under a tent at Vape Fest and enjoy myself and talk about vaping and swap juices and review items and let you know what's new on the market. And if we don't get off our asses and get up and do something about it, it's not going to happen. It really isn't. So that's why, personally, I'm really heavy in advocacy at the minute, because I want to carry on vaping. That is literally it.
There we go. Everyone do it for this guy here. He's passionate. We like that.
Get off your backsides.
I tell you what, Tom, you come to the same realisation that I did when I was saying earlier that I never wanted to get involved in the politics, this sort of thing.
No,
but I realised
if I vapor, that's all I want to be. I just want to be a vapor, and that's all we all want to do. And if it takes us to actually talk about it, then goddamn, let's do it.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. You know, and if we get a few sign-ups for VIP tonight and some donations to the NNA, then we've done a good job, I feel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do your part, guys. Really, really do your part. If not, just expect to lose what you love.
Yeah. Yeah. And let's face it, no one watching this is a dabbler.
No.
You know, no one's going, oh, I quite like vaping, I'll do it every now and again. You're not watching that. You're not watching this show for that. You're passionate as well. Mm-hmm. Everyone here is.
Exactly. And it's a fiver. It's a 10ml bottle of juice.
Yeah, you know, when you go out and you go, oh, I don't know if I want this bottle of juice or whatever, and you buy it and you don't like it. Well, look, you've wasted that fiver, but a fiver to the VIP is not a waste, is it?
No.
You're gonna like what you get.
That is exactly 1/100th of Rhydian's deposit.
Ah. What are you hinting at there?
It's subject to restrictive employment inquiries.
Guys, I think we better wrap up. It's been a great show. I think it's been a fun one.
Could go for hours.
We could. It's Tom. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on. It really has, and I hope to have you on again at some point as well.
Oh, I definitely will. And once again, thank you guys for having me. It's been an absolute blast. And if you want to watch me uncensored, go on to Big Tom the Vaping Crew, because I'm very uncensored. I'm being very polite tonight.
He is, actually. I'm quite relieved. I had a big red button. You can't see it, but every time Tom was going to say something, I was going to smack it. Oh, dear. Liam, always a pleasure to have you on. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
I'm sorry about the video.
That's fine. We'll get that sorted out next time. Yep. Keep up the good work. You're doing a fantastic job there.
Thank you.
Yeah, hats off. Hats off.
He's going to auction that hat now.
Who wants the hat? Let's put it to Vapors in Power.
Oh, good God. Right, Rhydian, this is your penultimate show before your honeymoon, isn't it?
Yes, it is, pretty much. Yeah, so I'm going off on my jollies.
Yeah, to New York.
Yeah, I like a challenge.
Yeah, I think so. Right, guys, so we'll see you next week. Stay tuned tomorrow night. There will be a show. But we'll just have to stay tuned and find out what that show is going to be. And then we're back round to, I think Monday is going to have a show as well. So you're spoiled for choice. And then, of course, Tom, go and have a plug. You've earned it.
Okay, I'll plug. If you want to subscribe to the cool one in the vape industry, Big Tom and the vaping crew. Big shout out to all my guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting, and keep doing what you're doing, guys. And really enjoyed being on the show. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And finally, I think the last word should go to Liam. Liam, what website should they go and sign up to and donate to?
vaporsempower.co.uk.
Lovely job. Okay, guys. So until next week. Ta-ta. Everybody wave, apart from Liam because he can't.
I'm waving.
Just
I'm
assume
waving.
he is. Ta-da.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of vapetrails.tv.